Hi, and welcome to Practically Creative. Today we're going to show you, hopefully, how to take, this was a sunflower seed bag. You can use grain bags, dog food bags, cat food bags. If you have a big bag like this, you can make it into the cutest little tote bag you ever have seen. So first we're going to decide how big we want our tote. Now this one, I think I want it to be like about that size. So what I want to do, I'm going to start by cutting all this stuff off the bottom. I do have a cutting board that has my measurements on it, which makes all this cutting way easier than trying to just do it by hand. So if you don't have one of these, it's a wonderful thing to have. Rotary cutter, be very careful, it's very sharp. And so I'm going to start by just cutting off the bottom. Alright, now what I want to do for the handles of the bag is I am going to cut 4 inches more off the bottom, and that's going to make, I'm going to use that for the handles. 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to set that aside. Now I want my bag, the bottom, to be about like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure like 2 inches from this spot down, and then I'm going to cut the excess. Because by the time you put the bottom on and we're going to do the gusset, that takes about the 2 inches. Measure that. So that's where I want my bottom to be. It's right about there, and I'm going to go down 2 more inches. Alright, so now for the top, we're going to be folding the top down like 1 inch and another inch. So we want to go 2 inches up from where you want the top of your bag to end. So I want it to end. I want it to end right about there, so I'm going to go up 2 inches. Get rid of that. Okay, so now for the handles, we're going to take our bag, that 4 inches that we cut off. Grab some scissors, and we're going to cut that end and that end. And most of these bags have the sides, so you just cut it right on the crease. Wet rag to wipe off the inside and the outside. We're going to sew the bag itself on a sewing machine, so you don't want to get all this dust and whatnot in your sewing machine. So we're going to wipe that off. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to fold it in 2 to crease it. So now we're going to take that and we're going to fold it halfway up to that crease that you just made as a guide. So we're going to fold it this way, and then we're going to fold it again, and that's going to be your handle. So I'm going to do that with both of these. I'm going to hold it in place with a couple paper clips. You can use whatever you have handy. Alright, so those are your handles. Right now I'm just prepping it for the sewing machine. So I'm stand back up again. So now we have this cut, so we have to turn this inside out. Wipe the inside of it down. Alright, so now what you're going to do, you're going to find, I've got my birds on the top here, so this is the top. So what we're going to do, let's sit back down again, is we're going to roll this an inch, and then we're going to roll it another inch, and that's going to make the top of your bag. Now, as long as I've got it at this point right here, I've got the top of the birds here, and it's open so the little gussets are over here, the natural gussets of the bag. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to measure for the placement of the handles. So I'm measuring the width of the bag. It's about 21 inches. So half of that is like 10 and a half. So I'm going to put a tiny little mark like right there. And we found for the handle placement, we like to go 4 inches each way off center. So I'm going to put another little mark there. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. And take just a quick peek to make sure your marks are And I'm going to put a few, I'll just put 2, that's all I have. Just a couple clips on there to hold it. So that sort of ends our prep work. Now I'm going to introduce you to my sister. She brings the sewing machine into the equation. So she said she'd come over here and help me make these bags. Chris?
Hello.
Come here.
Sorry.
Come in. This is my sister Chris, and she's going to do the actual sewing portion for me. Okay, so here we are at the sewing machine, tongue twister, at the sewing machine stage. So we're going to start by sewing our handles. We're just going to sew up, down, around, and back on both of those. Okay, our next step is we are going to sew around the top. Okay, now we're going to do
pull the handles on.
So now remember those marks we made with the marker? That's where we're going to place our handles. And that's Lily. Okay. And the next step, we are going to sew the bottom. No, this one. Yeah. So the bottom of the bag, she's going to do two strips, just for a little extra reinforcement. Thank you. Alright, so now we're going to be putting the gusset in the bottom. So I'm going to stand up for this. So you kind of want to open your bag from the inside. And you're going to be making like this little bunny ear. So what I'm trying to do is push it back until it fits the whole, like there's a fold, there's a fold. So I want to push it back to there. I'm going to put a clip on it just to hold it. And then I'm going to take a rough measurement. So it's like, we're going to say like 3 inches from the tip of that to where it needs to be, to where your corners are, where these gussets are. So we're going to do the same thing on this side. Again, you want to go to the natural fold in your bag. If we can find it. And again, we're going to clip it, and then we're going to sew it right there at the 3 inches. So now we're going to turn the bag inside, back, right side out, inside out, right side out. To do that, to get your corners the way you want them, you want to stick your finger in there and like really push those corners out to give us this flat bottom. So now you have a beautiful tote bag. Thank you for watching Practically Creative. Like, subscribe, follow. It's been a pleasure sharing how to make tote bags with you. See you again soon. Bye.